Hi, welcome back to the Cool Nerd Show for episode 2. We are the coolest nerds that you know. I'm Steve Trezza.
Scott Burnett.
I'm Mark.
Good.
And this episode is brought to you by nobody. We're not popular yet.
So today we're going to get started off with, last week was real Marvel heavy. This week, very DC heavy.
True that.
There was no Agent Carter this week, so we're going to get started with the return of Flash and Arrow. So
I kind of think that it was a good break for Agent Carter.
I agree.
We kind of need to know what we're missing. After that 2-hour premiere and then another one, we're like, all right.
I agree with you on that because like after the first 3 episodes, the 2-hour premiere and the next episode, I found myself like not really wanting to watch it. But then this week I was like, oh wait, it's not on. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So
we had The Flash instead on Tuesday.
Yep.
And the Flash was good. I think it was a solid comeback episode.
I enjoyed it, I think, more than everybody else because I think Flash it knows what it's doing. It stays in its wheelhouse. It's perfectly corny. And I really like that.
So this week, Captain Cold is back. He's with Heatwave.
What a twist, everybody!
They're terrorizing the town, but they don't want to take anything.
What?
They just want.
Little Prison Break reunion too.
They just want to kill the Flash. That's all. That's all that they
Okay,
want.
before we talk about the villains and the main meat of the story episode, the first training sequence was real cool with the Terminator 3 drone flying around and Cisco shooting at him. And he shoots the missile, and Flash catches it, so he's more offensive.
That
He's
was
learning-
pretty
learning how to
sweet.
fight.
When he caught the missile and threw it back at the
He's
drone.
learning how to fight.
Yeah,
that was a moment where I stopped, like, because I have a bad attention span when it comes to shows. So I would I'll look at my phone, I'll do all this other stuff, but it made me stop and really
Like
focus
the
on
America in you just rage, just
Yeah.
yes!
I want to do that. I want to see more of that.
and part of it was because they're verbalizing how much they're focusing on increasing his speed. But that also showed that not just his speed, but his skill using it as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not just sheer speed. He can actually do good with it.
So, a little thing, I thought it was a solid episode, but I thought Captain Cold and Heatwave were just way too over the top.
Yeah.
They were so corny. It was kind of like, it was like B horror movie villain.
It's par for the course.
shit.
Dominic Purcell is Heatwave, more so.
I agree.
I love how Cisco came up with his name.
Yeah,
I like how they worked that into it because, I thought it was gonna get.
They worked that in pretty well into every
Yeah,
episode.
he's comic relief in a show that's kind of
Already comic-y.
comic-y, which is hard to do. And Cisco's one of my favorite parts of the show. But Dominic Purcell as Heatwave, super over the top. He was just mad for the sake of being mad, and he was trying to play crazy, and it just looked like he was too crazy.
He'd be yelling at like random times and stuff like that.
Well, that and Captain Cold too was just like, I don't know. He was
just made him too cold and calculated.
He was just not.
Oh.
He was just his acting was just awful. Like I just thought it was just bad.
And
acting.
Wentworth Miller's not a bad actor.
Right. Neither. I don't know. Did any of you ever watch Prison Break?
Yeah.
I like them.
They
both
were
on
good.
it.
They were good in Prison Break, but but the good thing is they were corny together. Their corniness played well off each other.
Yeah.
So it's like it was intentional.
The whole and the fight scene at the end was pretty sweet, but the whole crossing of the streams,
the Ghostbuster reference.
Well,
The little Ghostbuster reference here.
Yeah.
I think
How
that was an accident.
all of them acknowledge that Ghostbusters is a surprisingly good and shockingly scientifically accurate movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did acknowledge it. That was pretty sweet. But at the same time, it's like if you're them, how are you not going to know that you're firing at each other?
Well, I think more of it was they knew that they would, essentially cross the streams, but they didn't know that it would cancel each other out.
And then the Central City Police Department doesn't do jack shit.
Oh my
They're
God.
just there.
The whole cross streams thing is they need
Paul
it.
Blart,
It's
Paul Blart would
come
be
on,
doing that.
that's old comic book. That's old comic book lore. Who
The
cares?
police don't do shit.
Of
Yeah.
course
But
not.
they needed a way to end the episode, so let's have them shoot at each other. But the one thing I didn't get is, it's you can't beat them by going faster, you need to go slower. So he eats a lot of fire.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
think
So-
that his
so-
suit can take that.
So the fire,
The
it's a fireman's suit,
Yeah.
essentially. It was designed to be heat resistant for firefighters.
Okay.
So that I can see.
But it's supposed to be
the
this
cold
perfect
resistant-
heat wave thing. So I don't think he should have been able to sustain all that damage because it kind of makes him he's fast, so he can get out of the way of danger.
Yeah.
Right.
If he can eat the danger too, then he's kind of overpowered.
Yeah.
So he just kind of gets hit and then walks the two beams
Well,
into
and
each other.
same thing with whenever he's been getting hit by the cold gun. You know, you see like them shooting the cold gun like at the door to break through, and within like seconds it's frozen. He ate that gun for like a little bit too.
Yeah.
And he got hit by it a couple times,
Yeah.
and
I know he can heal, but I didn't think
right.
it was that.
But you know, the whole concept that they brought in the episode where we first had Captain Cold was that even his regeneration is slower from this Absolute Zero.
And that gun can Absolute Zero is incredibly cool.
No, but they hit
cheap.
him in the earlier episodes, and I feel like it did a lot more damage.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing I didn't like about this episode was the painting that they stole that was worth $25 million.
Fire
They just
and ice.
torched it.
And they just torch it like it's like nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, well this is worth a lot. Killing Flash is worth a lot
Are you
more
sure
than
you
$25
guys watching
million.
Flash? Because it really sounds like something from the Super Friends at this point. It's like, we just stole this, and let's burn it.
That's exactly what it was like.
And they're definitely setting up for a recurring story arc because they kind of like threw in like exposition where Heatwave was like, "I'm really glad you taught me how to fix my own gun."
Right.
Yeah.
Like you know that's
They're
gonna
gonna
play into another episode, so they're kind of just like they're like a little. The references are a little too on the nose for like I don't know if anybody caught it, but Gotham. Yeah, no, trust me. We can make this is better than Gotham.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean,
then
they're gonna easily rebuild their own guns.
Yeah.
You know, because they made that comment of how I'm glad you made me, like you said, memorize this gun,
Yeah.
top to bottom. All right, so they're going to be able to rebuild their own guns.
you know they're coming back.
Right, and then
Oh, yeah.
the only thing, even though it's a little over the top, like you said, with the burning of the painting, the only thing that it is good to show is how that Flash's Rogues Gallery is obsessed with him.
Yeah.
You know, did they go to the extreme of, would the Rogues Gallery burn a $25 million painting? Fuck no.
No.
But
They're thieves.
they're thieves,
And
that's the thing,
so-
and so, it is showing that their obsession with the Flash.
Yeah.
That's the only positive part about that.
Now at the end, because they get caught, spoiler alert, they get caught and then they get broken out by Captain Cold's sister, who is Golden Glider, who is kind of corny supervillain.
Come on.
Don't really want to...
Corny with Captain Cold and Heatwave in mind, so it's super corny.
Yeah.
You hear that? She is more like apparently cream corn compared to popcorn. Everybody.
But alright, so a little synopsis on Golden Glider. She's like an Olympic skater. She uses diamond weapons as opposed to heat and cold weapons.
So it's
she
ice.
has magic skates, which I doubt they'll incorporate. But she can skate on any surface. She might have like
hover skates or something crap.
she might have some kind of tech that lets her move around faster.
Science magic, my
But
favorite.
I swear to God, if they give her like some super Heelys and she's like zipping around and like because no matter how fast she glides, she's not gonna be faster.
Well,
than
they're
Flash.
definitely
so it's pointless.
Agreed. They're definitely going to give her some sort of Star Labs tech
Yeah.
that look like rollerblades or ice skates.
Why
And
would anyone make that in the first place?
why-
Yeah. Let somebody else break him out. Let Mirror Master break him out. I'd be but he's coming to the show, but like, why include Golden Glider when you can include somebody else? Like, it's
I agree.
I think the only reason why they did that was because instead of just starting to randomly throw villains in there, they're trying to build off of an already
Yeah.
established villain. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying that's I think why they went with her as opposed to someone like Mirror Master.
Now, and then at the very end of the show, we get Joe and Barry's relationship where Barry moves back in with Joe because Iris moves out with Eddie. Which, I mean, I think it's good for the show because now he's going to be home with Joe. And now that might also, have, if someone finds out who the Flash is, now Joe is going to be the damsel in distress, so to say.
I think Joe adds a bit of substantial acting talent to the show.
He's one of the better actors in the
I
show.
agree.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely give you that.
So he
Give you that.
takes away from some of the corniness, and I really like the way how he still reacts to Barry's power. So like it doesn't get old. Like when Barry does the thing with his voice and before the mid-season finale, he gets like a giddy reaction, like how everybody would react, and it's Jesse L. Martin is brings some like realism to a corny show, and if he wasn't in there, I think the show would suffer from Gotham syndrome, where it really wouldn't have any kind of tether to this one.
Well, what's also good about him is he's also making like a humanizing ability for Barry because it's just like it's not like Barry can only use his abilities just to fight crime.
Yeah.
Well, he's like this needs to be cleaned up. And he just looks at him and he's just like, all right. And
And
zip,
it
zip, zip,
cleans.
zip, and it's all cleaned up. Like, you know.
And he gives him the beer, and he's like, this does nothing to me, right? He's
Yeah.
like, just shut up and drink
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You know,
Like,
so.
they have this bond that they both need.
Okay, now
On to
Alright,
Arrow.
on to, let's talk about Arrow. So this week, Arrow comes back.
Sort of.
Oliver Queen.
Sort of, yeah.
Well, I meant the show.
Yeah,
Oliver Queen kind of comes back. We see the team is kind of in distress without him.
To say the least.
Felicity
Diggle's
is
a little too big to fit in that suit.
Yeah, Felicity's kind of broken up.
He's more of a Glock man. You know.
Which makes more sense if you really think about it. If you gotta take out people, might as well use a gun.
Roy and Diggle kind of not really. They're trying to get it done, but it's not happening.
I don't really like the Roy and Diggle team. I'm not a huge Roy fan. They use him enough in the first half of the season. Like, they use him right. A Roy-centric section of the season is going to get real fast. I think that's why they split it up. I think the next 3 episodes is called the Canary Trilogy, or by the producers. So it's like going to be a story focused more on moral, which I don't know if I will watch that either.
Well, what do you think of Laurel's Black Canary?
It happened.
Yeah, it was there.
It did happen.
It was very spontaneous to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I mean, for what we saw, it was like, yeah, all right, I'm pumped up for it, but at the same time, like, this was very, very quick and kind of like snapped right into
3
it.
weeks before the mid-season finale, she was struggling to throw a punch.
Yeah.
First week back, she's using gadgets and like a staff. Like, I think she took out low-level guys. So
Yeah.
Let's see.
It
when
was
she
literally
goes-
just carjackers.
Let's see when she goes up against Brick, because they're gonna put her up against
Right.
Yeah.
Brick. She's gonna get her ass beat.
And
I
couple
think Brick's
times.
gonna kick the crap out of her.
He's gonna give the old Chris Brown.
Yep. He,
Dude, come on, man, what the hell?
What?
I-
Ray Rice? Sorry.
I kind of think that that she is gonna get her ass kicked, and I kind of
Yeah.
hope it does happen.
Well, because it's gonna make her realize that she's like, while she's this vigilante, she's not invincible.
Yep,
Like, she's
right,
like-
people can hurt me. Forgot
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she's gonna be on the same level as like Roy.
And I think they should do that, because I think if it doesn't do that, it kind of makes it like
It's not convincing.
Yeah, it's not convincing at all. It was convincing that she kicked the 2 thugs' asses because she had the canary scream. That was
Let her
like
rely on that.
that definitely like shocked them and then the glass like broke in their face and whatever, and then I can see that, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I was
And
convinced.
that's
If she
the other thing-
relies more on gadgets, it'll be
Right.
I-
And I mean,
I
they
agree.
don't exactly show her in like a combat scene either. You know, she shows up, throws the canary call,
hits the guy.
and then hits the guy with the staff. We didn't see like a major hand-to-hand combat scene.
Yeah,
Nope, you know.
exactly.
So if they stick to that, I think that'd be okay. You know, if they go into her, kung fu with, or whatever, boxing or something like that, with a major henchman or a skilled henchman, then we're gonna start to be like, all right,
I think that's why they're using Brick, because he's real hand to hand.
Right.
So it's gonna let her test herself. She's gonna get her ass kicked. She's gonna train more. She's gonna beat
Well-
him. Like if she went against like a big bad, like she wouldn't be able to hold her own against Roz. She wouldn't be able to hold her own against Slade Wilson. Or,
Just any
like,
one of major.
Black
And-
Arrow.
Yeah, any
Like,
major villain.
She
It's like,
can't.
if
she's
you know
there-
this person, she can do it. Anybody.
Well,
Yeah.
and
If it's
you
like
make a good
instant
point
beat.
with Brick, because Brick has showed twice in that episode that not only even if his henchmen are around, he has them say, "Step back, me and you one-on-one."
Yeah.
So that'll be a good way to because when you see them fighting, you see all these henchmen around. She
don't
wouldn't be able to
do
take on a bunch of henchmen, but Brick is going to be like, "All right, you and me,
Yeah.
let's do this."
It'll give a sense of danger. Well, this is gonna really she's only gonna be fighting him. They really kind of stretched out that gun bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you a gun if you can take me out. You can walk out
Oh,
alive.
he managed to tag me.
Yeah, like we get it. You're tough.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we don't, he's like, I forgot his name. Vinny Jones.
Vinny Jones, the actor. Yeah.
Big dude.
Soccer hooligan.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
He was also Juggernaut.
He was Juggernaut.
He doesn't look like he's not tough. So there's really not. Like, you
So-
can set that up.
In that episode when Dig actually shoots him, does Dig miss him or what happened? Because
I guess it's just
he made
great.
he made like a comment about a headshot, and like you're sitting there like Dig is skilled enough that he's gonna pop him.
In the comics, his name is Brick because his skin is as thick as Brick, and his spears
Okay.
can pierce him. But I don't think they're going
Right.
that route in the
Okay.
in the TV series. But I don't know. I think he'll be in for the next 3 episodes. In
Yeah.
the last episode, maybe we'll see Laurel kill him at the end, or the 3 of them come and kill
team
him or
up
take him
because
down.
they're
or
gonna
something.
need to team up to actually
Yeah.
succeed because they're not. All three of them cannot equal up to what Ali is.
Right.
So let's talk about how many scenes we saw Green Arrow in, everybody. What was that? Two?
Well, they had
No,
the flashbacks.
Yeah,
I
of,
actually-
is it flashbacks or is it like current? Like
That's,
No,
that's
no,
flashbacks.
The
It
stuff
is
with
flashbacks?
the stuff with
Oh,
Amanda
okay.
Waller is flashback.
So I was actually surprised in the amount that they did use him.
really?
I thought they used him more.
My name is General Zod. I come from a world far from yours. I have journeyed.
I apologize. Looks like General Zod cut it short a little bit this week. Actually, our microphones died. But anyway, stay tuned next week where we'll have a fuller, newer episode for you. I promise it will go all the way through without any technical difficulties. So just what you may have missed this episode, we did continue talking about Arrow. Is Ollie going to be returning with just the patch up? Is he going to need a little more help? Are they going to use the Lazarus Pit? Or are they not going to use it and just leave it out? Because it looks like they're going that route right now. We did start talking about some small notes that we did have. Looks like Jake Gyllenhaal is out of Suicide Squad. He is no longer attached to it. I think he was just rumored, but he will not be in the movie. They are bringing in someone else. And then we have some X-Men Apocalypse casting news. Looks like Cyclops had been cast, Storm, and Sansa Stark is Jean Grey. So that's good news. So stay tuned next week. And for the rest of the nerds, Ed, Devin, Scott, I'm Steve Trezza, signing out.